Hello, welcome everyone everywhere to the Elite Thinking Club. I'm Chris Jules Julian and I'm joined today by my co-hosts Liz, Michael and Mads. How you doing, guys?
Very good. Hello.
Awesome.
Hey, good.
Love that. I love that. Yes.
Hi.
So tonight we are going to be talking about arranged marriage, FGM, which is female genital mutilation, and honor killing. Now, these things all kind of connect, okay? And I say kind of because you've got to be a bit more mindful about what we're going to be discussing tonight. But if you do have anything to say on it, guys, then please put it in the comments. Let us know, because we'll be constantly checking throughout the episode. And also, just want to say a massive well done, because to us and everyone else, because we hit 139 subscribers on the YouTube channel, which is like a big deal for us, because we obviously want our YouTube channel to grow and get more people involved in the conversations, because we're hitting topics of discussion that I believe people should be having, like people are interested in, or maybe just a topic that you never heard of before that you could just learn about. So yeah, we're having deep, powerful conversations to inspire and educate, and you're more than welcome to be involved. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, follow us on all other social medias, and yeah, just give us a hello. So right, before we begin, as always, I must say that you cannot change anything unless you're willing to understand it. And you cannot understand it unless you're willing to explore it. A good debate doesn't get ugly. We may talk of things that make people feel vulnerable. Beliefs held sacred may be challenged because of life experiences, but we're not trying to make people wrong or to incite a riot, but simply explore. Welcome to the Elite Thinking Club. Okay, so guys, we all agreed that we'll be doing this episode. Right, arranged marriage. Question: how would you feel, guys, if you were told that one day you will be marrying this person? Never met them before, but you will be marrying them. How's it make you feel?
I couldn't do it.
Nah.
I couldn't do it.
Well, it might be a bit easier.
Yeah.
Don't have to go on dates. Don't have to convince that person to
skip all of that.
Like you, or it's all done, isn't it?
Yeah, but like, what if you don't connect and it's just forced, isn't it? It's forced. It's not.
There are different.
Not all the
There's
time.
two, isn't there? There's arranged marriage and then there's forced marriages. So the arranged marriage, I think, if you really don't like them and you say, look, I really don't want to marry them, then usually I think they will find you someone else.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is that that's what?
Am I right, Michael?
It depends what religion you're in. But my friend is from Bangladesh, and so they've got like to dumb it down a little, it's like a ranking system. So depending what job you've got and how much money you make and your standing in society. So my mate was in the British Army, so he's considered, like, say, a 10. Because it's well respected, he's paid good money, and by good money, like his brother was paid. He was a researcher at Samsung. I mean, a company, and he was getting paid like £200 a week to be a researcher at Samsung. So money-wise, he was getting paid more.
So marriage was more like an investment.
Yeah,
like
yeah. So he can get, because he's ranked up, he can get a very good looking lady because of his ranking in society.
And it was all arranged.
Yeah, when we was in training together, his parents were looking. We disconnected after that, like after I left the army, but so I don't know, he actually ended up getting married, but he seems happy about it.
That doesn't sound too bad though, because if you're highly ranked, you haven't got to go, like, if you will, kissing frogs to find your prince, if that makes sense, or princess.
Yeah.
You just get you get it. You know what I mean? You're instantly in. It's like, but then at the same time, like Liz said, I get what Liz said. Like, you cannot form chemistry if you see someone and you're attracted to them and you're instantly feel like the energy, the chemistry between you and them. You can't have that if you're being told this is your person, right? That's what it's like when you go for a test drive in a car. You want to know that you're falling in love with the car before you settle for the car. Not comparing people to objects, but it's a similar, you know?
Yeah. Well, in this So the good thing about this is where your parents find them for you because they've known you your whole life. They know your likes and dislikes, and it's not like they pick someone and that has to be it. They pick someone, you meet that person, and then you decide whether you like it, and if it gels. I've got some facts on it. Do you want some facts?
It's
I think they do
interesting.
check it,
Hold
don't they?
fast on the facts real quick. Let's just explore it a little bit more. But isn't part of like becoming an adult, growing up, learning to make your own decisions?
Yeah,
So
but
if
this
your
isn't sprung on you. This isn't sprung on you. They know about this their whole life. This isn't like me going to you now and going, "Oh, I found someone, you got married." They know this their whole life. Like when I grew up with two different names. My mum called me Charlie. My dad called me Michael. So outsiders, that seemed really weird. But because I lived it, it just made sense.
I see.
And
But
don't
there are
start calling me
forced
Charlie.
marriages as
It's
well.
still a form of conditioning, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's conditioning them to know
Yeah.
or be aware that that's the way, that's their tradition and that's what they're going to be doing, and they will be aware going out into society that other people in society don't necessarily do that. They meet someone, fall in love, and you know, the person that you marry effectively is going to be the person that you choose to have children with, to
Right.
build a family with, build your
Yeah.
empire with. So it's not just you know, what's good for your family. It's got to be what's good for you.
Mm.
Yeah, well, that's what the difference is between arranged marriages and forced marriage.
Okay, so let's get right there then. Let's separate the two. Forced marriage, you haven't got a choice. There is no going back. You are definitely marrying. You are definitely marrying
That's the worst.
that person because your parents said so.
Yeah.
Forced marriage.
Yeah.
If you like you mentioned earlier,
Yeah,
Michael.
that's when they usually use like
Say again, Matt, what'd you say? That's when they usually
so that's usually when like the relatives use like they can use like psychological abuse or or physical abuse and coercion
like
to try and force marry, basically.
yeah. Oh, okay. So let's talk about that. I mean, back to what Michael mentioned about, you know, you grew up with this your whole life, so therefore it's not a shock. It's just what it is. You kind of don't see it any other way. That's how it always is. Therefore, if you don't know any other way, surely you're ready for it then. Doesn't it? It kind of softens the blow. Whereas if someone said to you, by the way, you do have options, you don't have to go through with this, it's like, then you're now creating a person who will question, you know, it's tough, especially if you are exposed to other people and then you find that you are like either physically, mentally, emotionally, or you've just got chemistry with someone else and you're actually like, why do I have to marry this person when I'm clearly in love with this person, or I have something with this person?
Yeah.
Also, in those situations, what if you're being set up with somebody, say I was having an arranged marriage and my family were arranging me to be with a man that they felt fit for merging with my family, but I wanted to be with a woman.
Well, yes.
And same as if you get a man in that situation who is being the arranged husband, what if he wanted to be with another man?
I've got
You end
answers to these if you want to hear them.
you end up living a life that you don't. I just think that those that are in that situation, I would prefer to have the options. I would not want to be forced into that situation. I feel for anybody that is, because you live one life, and I just think that, you know, it's important that you live it being truly who you are. So
That's well said, Liz. Yeah, never even thought of that until you said that. Thank you for saying that. It's true. What if you are attracted to the same sex and you're still being forced to marry someone that you're not even attracted to?
Well, the answer is, and that kind of brings us to the last point. I'll briefly touch on it. Is then it becomes an honor killing, because on a forced side of marriage, if you turn out to be homosexual, then because your religion is against it, you either get forced to then do it, or it may then go down the route of honor killing, which we'll talk about honor killing when we get there.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
because that is one of the main points of honor killing. It's going against your family and your forced marriage.
Wow. People will go to extremes, won't they, to defend their honor?
Yeah.
Rather than just accept. Right.
I just don't think I could do that to my child. I just don't think that I could take that choice away from them.
Go on.
And take that as that's part of their identity, of finding out who they are and finding out who they love and where they want to live and who they want to set up a family with. And I just think that I just could never do that. I just think you're taking so much away from somebody by telling them what to do. It has been losing their freedom.
It has been something that's gone on for years, not just in like South Asia, but also in religions, but also in the UK. And I think it was up until the 20th century, wasn't it, that most marriages were arranged. I mean, if you watch,
we've still got some now.
What's it? We spoke about this before, Bridgerton. I know it is a story, but it's based on real, what it was like back then, and that's all. My internet connection's unstable, but they're all arranged marriages. The parents choose, or the grandparents, who they're going to marry, and I think even in the royal family, right?
Yeah. So I'm just going on my theories, but my theories are with bloodline. When you choose what your offspring is going to be like, you're obviously creating a new mixture of bloodlines. So sometimes some people are so understanding of that they don't want to tarnish the bloodline. Let's say, for example, because your DNA carries trauma, and your trauma is to protect you. So let's say, for example, you come from a climate where you were aggressive to stay alive. You were very, very aggressive because it's your defense mechanism, right? That's carried in your DNA. And throughout history, DNA and bloodlines, it's legit. Like, you are taking on your ancestral history. So nobles were fully aware of this, and they never wanted to tarnish their bloodlines. So they wanted to keep them pure, even to the point where if you trace it right back, there was incest in royalty because they wanted to make sure the bloodline stayed pure. That isn't a like made up thing. This is like legit, whether it be in the Egyptians, whether it be in like wherever you look it up. I don't want to go too much into it,
It's
but
to
that's
do with power, isn't it? The power and money, and very much sort of getting in with a good family, and the monarchy as well.
Yeah, you wanted to marry your daughter into a noble.
I can't say it, Mads. The Bridgerton or whatever it's called. That was the same. They wanted people who had like a big dowry. Is it dowry that it was called?
Yeah.
So so it made it worth it, and it made it more powerful. The merging of the families together. So.
Yeah. It's legit. Like,
it's such a big subject, isn't it? It's such a big subject because there's people that probably are in arranged marriages and they are happy, and and that is their tradition, and they're happy to keep that going, and that bloodline and that honor going. I went to school with a couple of Bangladeshi girls, and they actually spoke about the fact that they would have arranged marriages, but I don't think it would have been forced arranged marriages, but they were aware of it. Even when we were at high school, they were aware of that. That's probably the way they would be with somebody, is in their tradition. So
Yeah, I suppose it's safe as well,
Yeah.
because you kind of know the upbringing of the person that you're marrying is from a good home, and there's family, there's security, there's a good place to raise kids and have, like, you've got connections, you've got, it's all there for you, a good prosperous life. You don't want to go through, if you will, meeting the wrong person who's just going to completely mash you up, like put you through trauma, and then you're trying to spend the next 14 years trying to save yourself or heal yourself. Yeah, I get it, I do get it from that perspective.
Not always though. I was watching a interview with an American, I think she was Jewish. Anyway, she was forced into a marriage. Well, she had an arranged marriage, but he turned really abusive and the family, and they moved her away from her family, in with his family, and now she's like trauma from it. So I don't.
Yeah, okay, well said.
No.
Yeah, well brought in. And then sometimes arranged marriages are like, or forced marriages are like business transaction, business deals. Like I will make sure half my empire is secure with you. However, I'm only doing this deal if your son marries my daughter, because if you try F me over, at least I know my daughter is going to get, or they're going to split the deeds, you know what I mean? Or the bills or the money. So
years and years ago, monarchies used to do that for like alliance, didn't they?
Yeah.
A French princess would marry an Italian prince, so they had that. They were allies. It kept peace, sort of thing.
Really?
So yeah.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
If everyone supports the idea.
Go on, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if everyone supports
everybody's happy.
Yeah. But that's our perspective. Bring me into Facebook comment. So Paul Halfpenny said, "Love you lots, Chris, but do you think your Zoom should have someone in the stream that is of a religion that has arranged marriage? Strong subject, but very biased debate." Which is why I'm trying to be. My friend, who was Bangladeshi, was 100% into it, and when people are into it, I agree with it. Which is why I got facts about it rather than just me being biased about this way or that way.
Paul, I love you. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate that too. But yeah, you're right. Why don't we get some more guests on the show? Guys, we should be probably reaching out to people, but if anyone's watching the show and they've got something they are particularly keen on or want to speak about, we're happy to explore it with you, especially if you're knowledgeable on the subject. So if you've got anything that you want to talk about or want to get out there on this podcast, then yes, we will definitely honor you as a guest on this podcast, and we can talk about and explore with you what it is you're so passionate about. So yeah, thank you, Paul, for that. Appreciate that.
And we've got some more. Dan said the tradition was about power in society, kind of like the monarchy have done for centuries. It's about creating more connections politically. But then he also said it happened very recently with an American monarch. And then Christine Wilson has said, yes, there's honor killings happen because the daughter refuses to marry the parent's choice. And then she believes Orthodox Jews have forced marriages, she thinks. So some good comments coming in.
Very good topic to explore. Okay, so all right, let's
Sometimes
talk.
it's to keep it safe as well, isn't it? Sorry.
No, go on, Maz. What's that?
Sometimes it's to keep the same race as well. But I've seen a couple of Indian guys actually. Well, one was Indian, one was Pakistani, and both of them had said to me like they will have to have arranged marriages with another Pakistani and Indian, but they don't really find them attractive. They both prefer like white, blonde, petite, but it's just the way it is. They're just going to have to accept and do it. And I was like, why can't you explain that that's not what you want? But both of them were like, it's just our culture, it's our religion, we have to go ahead with it. And one of them, the Pakistani one, he was telling me how his uncle was forced into this arranged marriage. I don't know if it was forced, but anyway, it was an arranged marriage, and he wasn't in love with the woman, and so he had an affair with a Swedish lady that he worked with. Decided to divorce the arranged marriage, and marry her, but his whole family literally boycotted him. It had nothing to do with him. But I was like, well, if they'd have just let him marry who he wanted to marry in the beginning. And I guess that's also the same in the royal family with why have I lost the names? Who recently got married? Prince Charles and Camilla, wasn't it? Not recently, but he wanted to marry her from the beginning, didn't he? But they didn't want him marrying her because she was a divorcee. And so they made him marry Diana.
Yeah, I mean, we can
He
expand
actually
on
wanted
that.
to-
I get it with people's best interests for their kids and for the family name and stuff like that. I mean, I've not met a girl yet who has kids that I'm really interested in that sense. Like this was another topic of discussion. Thought we could do an episode on once, but would you marry someone who already has kids? Because in a sense, it's baggage, right? It's something they will always come before you, no matter what. And we're going a bit off top. We're going tangent here, but this is what I was saying about like Charles.
I think if the connection is strong, and the love is deep, I don't think it really matters. I think love is love, and I think that you would accept that person for whatever they come with. I personally wouldn't have an issue if somebody had children. However, I'd prefer it. It'd be easier if they didn't. However, it wouldn't bother me because, in fact, knowing that they were a good parent would actually be a plus side. To them. That was a whole different question, completely off topic what we're talking about. But I thought like it just led into it because of talking about people with divorcees and stuff like that. I was thinking that. So, all right, cool. Because obviously with a divorcee, you're obviously always going to have baggage, past trauma, past whatever didn't happen. They're still connected, all that stuff. But okay, right. From the arranged marriage, another topic of discussion tonight.
Not yet, Joel. Not yet.
Oh, you got something to say? Go on, Michael. Go on.
Well, I've got facts on the arranged marriages. And before I do, just putting out there, Dan also said Harry married an American as we left Europe. Coincidence?
Oh. I like this guy. Go on.
Right. So in the US, the divorce rate hovers around 40 to 50%. The divorce rate for arranged marriages is 4%. In India, where some estimate that 90% of marriages are arranged, the divorce rate is at only 1%. So in India, they're definitely working.
Yeah, but that's also because of the negative effects of getting divorced in that tradition from an arranged marriage. It's not worth it. You are literally scum in society if you do that. So in their tradition, that's how they are seen. So that's why it's that low, because people don't want to risk
the shame.
Ruining. Yeah, absolutely.
I've got to bang through some advantages and disadvantages of getting married, being arranged. So I'll just bang them out. So if you disagree with them, then argue it. If not, crack on. So people pay much better. This is advantages of arranged marriages. High level experience of parents, so they're used to doing it. Assurance of social status, which it is. Financial security. Cultural similarities of partners. Rational rather than emotional decision. Family connections are strengthened. Similar ethics. Similar values. Religious fits. People may live in a happy bubble. Avoidance of love sickness. And no stress to find a partner. So that's the advantages of a arranged marriage. This is arranged marriage that you're happy with, not forced marriage.
Right.
So disadvantages, I'll quickly bang through these. Love is not often a factor. There's no, there may be no fit at all between partners. Potential higher divorce rates. Spouses may not trust each other. People may be quite unhappy. Family problems. Husband and wife may have no say. Say.
Oh, okay.
So the parents are saying.
I thought you said sex, and then I thought, what? Say or
Fine
sex?
level of freedom, mental issues, and a big one, which is what we have the problem with, I have the problem with, is child marriages.
Okay. Is what?
Child marriages. So that's when
Oh, yeah.
There was an old case on it. There was like a 60-year-old Indian guy who married like a 12-year-old girl.
Wow.
Yeah. Have you seen the series The Tudors?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in The
Yes,
Tudors, you get like
yes.
this Spanish guy or like prince or king or whatever, and he literally approaches like Henry's daughter, who's like 8 or something, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe a
Mm-hmm.
bit young. She's like 8. She ain't hit puberty basically, and he just like sort of leans down to her and whispers in her ear, you know, one day, well, we're gonna be married. You're gonna be my wife. She's 8 years old, but he's like saying it like, yeah, you're gonna be my wife, and when you are my wife, then we're gonna be married. I'll be your husband. This guy looks about 32. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how can what? But that's another arranged marriage. Like, it's not forced, but she's 8 years old. She don't know what it is. You know what I mean? But it exists. Well, it existed. Yeah, a bit crazy. So let's talk about something else that exists. FGM. Now, I know that when we all mentioned this to each other before about it, it's surprising to some. However, it does exist, and it's female genital mutilation. So in some cultures, this is it's a common practice. Yeah, it's almost a ritual. People will see it as a way of securing a woman for an arranged marriage, if you will. I mean, Michael, do you have anything on it?
Yeah, I've got quite a few things on it. So it's normally found in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, and within communities from countries on which FGM is common. UNICEF has estimated in 2016 that 200 million women live in, say, 30 countries, 27 African countries, Indonesia, Iraq, Kazakhstan, and Yemen have undergone the procedures. So there's different procedures. A lot of it is to try and keep the female pure. So what they do is they cut with a traditional circumciser, is they cut the clitoral hood and clitoral glands, removal of the inner labia, and removal of the inner and outer labia, and closure of the vulva. So basically, depending on how extreme their religion is, the most extreme, they literally just close it shut with just a pipe to bleed and
Oh my
urinate.
God.
And then
That's
when they want to have a
horrendous.
baby, it then is cut open. It's done, and then once the baby's done, it's all closed up again.
Why
Yeah.
would they close it back up again? What?
Because to then take her back to her, because obviously if she's closed, then she can't cheat.
Yeah. So very
It's a
graphic and very
control thing,
uncomfortable.
isn't it?
Yeah, very graphic, very uncomfortable. However, we're here to explore, and that is that. So it does exist, FGM. So ladies, what are your thoughts on that? Let's get some thoughts. And if you're listening, let's hear some comments, guys.
My thoughts on it are that it's absolutely horrific and unnecessary and crazy mental, and I just can't believe it's apparent in the world I live in. It's horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And there's I did watch a documentary about women that fled that. They actually fled, they'd had it done to them, and I think they came to London and they'd fled it, and they'd set up like this little community to help people to help other females that had had it happen to them. And I think I watched like half of it, and I was in floods of tears. I couldn't watch. It was so graphic. It was just.
Mads, what are your thoughts on that?
Literally, I'm absolutely horrified. Like, what the hell? If someone tried to do that to me, I would literally knock them out.
Okay.
What on earth? How old are the people they do this to?
Okay, so this is where it goes deeper. This is normally secured at a younger age. It's to ensure that the girl is kept pure. A man doesn't want a woman who's, you know, being active with other men. He wouldn't want her to be in her purest form. Now, I'm going to approach this. my views on it, by the way, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I believe it's a body that's been given to you. Therefore, you should have the rights over it. No one else should. But I'm going to change perspective, okay? And the perspective being that a lot of people undergo surgery, and I know it's through choice. I know it's through choice. This is a form of surgery. And if it is to secure the purity of the woman, why is it not looked at like that? Now, I know it's because the women don't have a say. They should be allowed to protect themselves. They should be trusted with themselves. But there are some cultures out there who just don't trust the women. They can't be trusted to keep themselves pure until they meet their man. And therefore, it's like FGM to ensure that when these arranged marriages happen, that the man has his pure wife walk down the aisle dressed in white.
Yeah. So then, just going back to a comment that Dan said again, it said, what about male genital mutilation? No one bats an eyelid that Jewish boys have their genitals mutilated. So for a long time,
Well said.
these were trying to make it out like this was kind of the same as that. Whereas I personally don't believe that, and I don't believe that either. When you chopping the hood off.
Who does it? Like, who actually performs this?
It is a doctor, kind of. It's
Okay.
like a family doctor.
Try. And is the person put under anesthetic?
They're numbed up, so they can't feel it.
Now let's just get this right as well. Like, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you've got your research there to help this conversation. It is illegal in the UK, isn't it?
Yes, as far as I know, it is illegal in the UK.
It's completely illegal in the UK because it goes against our values and standards as a nation. We have laws and rights. People have rights in this country, and it goes.
Oh my God! I'm sorry, I've just seen something. It's every hour. There's something. There's a one in the UK. Every hour, someone's mutilated in the UK.
Not
that's
surely not legally.
It can't be.
Yeah, because it's not legal.
As far as I know, it's not.
No,
So
there's one
okay,
every hour.
So the only reason why I say that is because I was doing courses to become allowed to work with children, and when you're working with children, you have to undergo these courses. One of them was the FGM, and a lot of them do this like it's a celebration. They get taught to see it as something to look forward to. They're going home for a special occasion. These children might say this to their teachers or say it to their carers or whoever it is that, I'm going home because I've got this special occasion coming up. That should start ringing the alarm bells for the teachers to flag or highlight, this could be a possible thing. And that's why I say it, like it's not legal in the UK. So therefore they have to go back to whatever country they're from in order to do the procedure. Is that right? Am I right or wrong?
I think they're probably doing it illegally, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely legal. I've asked Chat because Dan knows quite a lot about most things, so he'll tell me whether I'm wrong or not.
Amazing. Yeah, FGM, it's a thing. Yeah, let's
Definitely something to look into. Anyone on YouTube, definitely look into it, because
there are some that are done as well that are actually, they are like mutilation. Like it's there was an attack on a village in Africa a few years ago, I remember, and literally there were quite a lot of young females taken, like kidnapped by a group, and they all had that done to them by the group, and several of the girls died from blood loss, and there were other girls that I don't know if they were done by a doctor or what have you, but it's not, I don't think it's always done by a doctor.
Yeah.
So
it exists.
Yeah.
It exists. I don't agree with it. It exists.
I don't agree with it at all. I even with the young lads, I mean, there was a guy that commented on our thread, and he said that with regards there was a lady that commented, Ellen Smith, on the documentary I watched, they had the surgery when they had their first period, but baby boys are done very early age. definitely happens here. So, I mean, with regards to the boys being done like when they're babies or an early age, that might not necessarily be remembered by the child, by the person, by, you know, by the boy. So that, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm pro-choice. I believe that it's their body. They should be asked at a certain age if they want to go ahead with that, and it's their choice and they should make it. But at least it's less traumatic if, you know, if a baby is circumcised or what have you, you know, they have no idea, do they? I mean, I know they.
No, they do.
You know, yeah, no, I know. But what I'm saying is, you know, it's I think people deem it less traumatic or less horrific. I don't know how, but some people do. Some people okay it in their minds because they're a baby and they think that they'll never have a memory of it and stuff like that. So
I've got two things, quickly.
Yeah, go Michael and Mads. Go on.
Right, Dan said another one. Most tribal rituals are on without pain relief. So, might be wrong on that. And two, what we got to remember as well, that these things aren't by choice for the people. It's all religion. So you I know it's hard not to make it personal, but if this is your life and your kid's going to do that, it is your religion. So you believe that you are right doing that. So you're saying pro-choice. Their pro-choice is their religion is saying to do it.
Mads, what you gonna say?
I said Christine has written that when she worked at the college, they were given training and told to watch out for students as well, who were saying that they were going to be going home for a celebration, and then they would have to let somebody know. So obviously we're trying to stop it, and we know it's wrong. But what could they do? So say there's a student at a college and she's saying, oh, I'm going home for a celebration, blah, blah, blah. And they highlight it with authorities. What can they actually do? Can they stop?
Well, they can try and safeguard her if she's being coerced into it. And they can make her aware of rights that she may not be aware that she's got, because she's been maybe, you know, brought up believing that is the be all and end all, that is what's happening. Whereas she, you know, so they would probably sit down and check that she wants to do it, if it's, you know, that she has a choice in it and that she hasn't been manipulated. It's kind of like, you know, with vulnerable children or vulnerable adults, you know, when social services or certain authorities get involved and sit them down and make sure that their things that are happening are because they want it to happen and not because they're being groomed or coerced. And so yeah.
I mean, I try to imagine what it's like, but I'm obviously not a female and I wouldn't know, but I obviously know that it's your body. Like, why would you wouldn't choose to have your body had that done? Like, so if I got to like age like 9 and someone said to me, oh, by the way, you're going home for a celebration to get your balls chopped off, instinctively as a man, I know no flipping way. I feel pain when I see another man get kicked in the nuts. That's like in my blood. Do you know what I mean? It lets me know, like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it's I can't explain it. You ladies, honestly, it's like a thing. Yeah, if you see another bloke get hit in the nuts, you feel that shit. It's when someone said to me, like, you're getting your nuts chopped off, no way. Even the thought now, it makes me cringe still. I'm not having that. Like, so
but we got to remember, that this is a religion. So my question is actually a good time to say it now. So let's say you're a Jehovah's Witness, yeah? Which means you can't take blood transfusions. Yeah. Okay. So your rational brain now would say, if you need an operation, you need blood. But your religion will tell you you can't have blood. So these people that are being told that they're going back to have this stuff done, as much as we think now that it's a crazy thing to do, their religion says that is what it is. So my question is, do you believe that religion should come before a person? Second question is, if your child was dying, would you forget your religion to save your child? Because if your child gets hit by a car, say, and you're a Jehovah's Witness, then your child cannot have blood that's going to save its life. So what trumps, religion or family?
This is a personal question. So if you're watching now, you get your answers straight. Mads, Liz.
Can I just say,
let's explore. Yeah.
I actually know of a case where a lady who was a Jehovah's Witness, she gave birth to twins and she had a hemorrhage. And they told her she would have to have a blood transfusion to survive. And she said, no, because of my religion. No, I can't have a blood transfusion. And she died. And so those baby twins had to be brought up by their father on his own because she went for religion over her life. And I personally would save my child, absolutely would save my child if they needed blood, regardless of the religion. And
wow,
yeah.
Now I understand that. However, I'm gonna explore. I believe so much in certain things that if it's my time to go, it is my time. Even though man has power to play demigod, i.e. create artificial life, artificial intelligence, manipulate their bodies, and we are so far advanced in science now that we've got all this power to do these things, doesn't mean we need to meddle in these things. If she was supposed to be alive, she'd survive. However, God's will, God's will, she's supposed to pass. These children are meant to live the life without her, and she is in acceptance of that.
I mean, we're never going to get the right answer in this.
No, it's a personal question. Those questions are personal. I'd like to know what people think. Like you got to explore. I've believed that I'd take the blood transfusion, but if my faith, exploring spirituality here, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go.
I personally find spirituality different to religion. I think being spiritual is a lot different to following sort of rules of a religion.
But some people need those rules, Liz.
But yeah. But that is part of some people's faith, and I completely respect that. And it's in a lot of countries, you know, everywhere, people who are strong in their faith are strong in their faith. You know, that is, they live and breathe it, and that is their book of life. That is the way they live their lives, and I respect that wholly. I do. I just personally, I couldn't risk my child's life or my life because of something I choose to believe.
I'm gonna go deeper, yeah. Back to our conversation back to what we said about bloodlines earlier, and how, you know, it carries certain trauma in your DNA and stuff like that. Some people believe to the point where, yes, you might be the same blood type as someone, but you're putting someone else's blood into your body, right? It's a deep thing. It's deep.
I mean, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want to. I'm a bit funny about what I put in my body, but if I had to, you know, if I was old, I wouldn't probably mind. I'd just say, just let nature take its course. But if in my younger years, I would if I had to.
Yeah, me too.
What about you, Mads?
Yeah, definitely. It wouldn't bother me. I'd give me all the blood. Me all the blood transfusions to keep me alive. But I'm not very religious, because I mean, I don't really know what that's got to do with believing in God. Like, I know all religions have their different laws.
I often sometimes wonder where these things come from as well, within the religion. Like, who made that up, that you can't have this, can't have that, must not do this, must not do that? Like, what person way back in history? Yeah,
I suppose it's a way of life. Like understanding certain depth of
disciplines
knowledge,
and things, I
disciplines
suppose.
and knowledge. Yeah. I mean,
Mm,
it is in a sense for people who are requiring guidance.
mm-hmm,
There was a time when masturbation was seen as a sin, a
mm-hmm,
big sin. And now because it's like, oh my God, I'm not going to follow that rule. People are happy. Like I will, you know, be brutally honest. Young men don't know how to control themselves. They'll masturbate 3 times a day,
mm,
ejaculate 3 times a day. And all men know that you're very vulnerable after that. You're not functioning after that. Your head's in fog after that. Maybe it was made a way of life in the past to make it a sin, because it is. It depletes you, doesn't complete you. It's the opposite. And
Protect you, yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's
I
protecting.
know also religion was kind of created way back when as a form of control.
Well, yeah, because people need to be controlled. You know, if we let
Yeah.
people run loose, say for
And
example,
so it was to control what people did and what people believed. And yeah, so, and
let's say example. Sorry, Liz, I interrupted.
that's
Go on.
okay. No, I finished. It's fine. Go.
Alcohol is the #1 drug that kills the most people worldwide. Let's just even go with our nation in the UK, right?
Mhm.
Now, this thing's legal, okay? And we can go into the reasons why after. However, if you're part of a religion that literally deems it a sin and you're sticking to your religion, you're actually part of the solution.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some religions that things are in place because they know,
Mm-hmm.
like, but because people don't have self-control.
Mm.
They have a guideline, they have a balance. If they know, like, we don't do that here, that's not what we do here, we're not part of that, then people will say, well, F you then, I'm going to continue. Cool, you go and continue. You do know it's the #1 killer in the whole of the UK. So I'm just saying, we're part of a group that want this thing to not even be a thing.
Mm.
Yeah, it's tough. People don't have the discipline to govern themselves, but they don't want to feel alone at the same time. They want to feel like they're part of something.
Mm.
It's,
Also, I think faith also gives people hope, doesn't it? It gives people hope in their struggles, and it gives them strength in the bad times. It gives them hope. So I think that's why sometimes people do follow that tradition, because they believe so much that it is good for their life. So
discipline is a massive part of my life. I wouldn't class myself as any religion. I have locks. I'm not Rastafari. I don't eat meat. I'm not Muslim. I don't drink. I'm not Muslim. Don't smoke. You know, don't do any of them things. I'm in a massive disciplined life because it serves my higher purpose. But to put a label on it, if someone said to me, may as well create your own religion, then suppose I would. But I wouldn't have some of the rules as others. I wouldn't do FGM. I wouldn't do, I don't know, blood transfusion. That's a tough one. That really is.
Also, there's certain religions, I kind of take bits out of lots of different religions, and I think I like that, I like that, I like that, I like that. Again, I wouldn't do the labeling. If I had to pick one to live by, I'd probably Buddhism. However, there's some elements of all the religions that puts me off religion altogether, like how controlled women are in certain faiths and how they have to cover up and how they're not allowed to look at other people or be far away from their husbands. Like that, to me, unless everybody can be free within that religion, then it puts me off believing that seeing it in a positive light. But again, that's tradition, that's their culture, that has been that way for so many years. I just think that in the times we live in, some religions are still living way back when.
Right. Michael.
And they haven't quite caught up.
Yes, Liz. Well said. That's true. Go on, Michael. Oh. No. I thought you were waiting to say something.
Oh no, I'm taking it all in. Everyone's opinions are valid.
Can I just say, with regards to the honour killings, 5,000 women and girls are murdered each year in honour killings.
Right, let's do it. We're moving on to honour killing now.
Is that in the UK?
And no, that's worldwide. That's Middle East, South Asia, even Brazil, Canada, Iran, Israel, Italy, Jordan, Egypt, Sweden, Syria, Uganda, and the United Kingdom and the United States. There's an estimated 12 honour killings each year in the UK.
So for those that are watching now, let's
Wow.
quickly get an understanding of what honour killing is. Michael, you explained it really well in our pre-chat. Can you just, for the audience, explain what honour killing is and why it happens?
So honour killing is, I mean, it's going to touch on what we've said. So forced marriage, if you refuse a forced marriage, then you can be honour killed, which honour killed is if your family's religion is at stake, you will be, normally 90% of the time it's females that are killed, not males. Yeah. So if they're, so certain things that can class as it is seeking a divorce. So if you've been forced into marriage or are married anyway and you want a divorce, then that is grounds for it. If you're raped, sometimes victims of rape are honour killed. Being homosexual,
What?
you can be honour killed for being homosexual. And a lot of times it's actually done by minors.
Bless
Bless you.
Thank you.
It's done by minors so that it's less, because they can't be prosecuted as much. So basically get away with it.
Right. So let's just wrap that up. If you go against what your family want you to do, or you want to go against a religion or anything like that, they will kill you to keep the honor within their family. They will not let you shame the family or, you know, taint the purity or the goodness of the family. They will just kill you off as to show, I suppose, everyone else that they value their family name. Is that right there, Michael?
Yeah, very true. Yeah. I've got some cases that were in England. So in 2002, his father thought that his daughter had been too westernized and was involved in a relationship he didn't approve of.
I remember
So
this case.
he stabbed her to death. That was Issy Yons, her name was.
She was found in the lake or something, wasn't she? In the water.
Yeah.
It's
He
awful.
killed his own daughter because he
Yeah.
thought she was too westernized.
Yeah. There's another one, a 17-year-old British Pakistani girl from Great Sankey was murdered in 2003 by her parents. Again, because she was too westernized.
And when this happens, please tell me that they are charged and they go through the whole justice system. Like, they don't.
Yeah,
let
well, they admit to it because it's their religion. They admit to it.
Do they get put in prison?
Yeah, they get put in prison.
Oh God, yeah, gotcha.
Oh, for that, I thought it might be like, oh, they can't because it's their religion. So
No.
No, it's law of the land, no, Mads. That's what I was saying about FGM. When it is illegal here, like in the UK, the law of the land, in any religion, you respect the land you're on first. I believe that's true.
That's right, Jules. That is right. There was another case of a girl who wanted to go to a different city for university, and she was killed by her father because he didn't want her to be too far away from the home, and he thought that she would end up going out and doing normal student things. So he killed her.
Just because it helps my one of my points. Dan said, and usually it's done with the same hatred for the rest of the community. They also feel the shameful thing that their child has done. So one of them, he got so angry, he smashed up the bathroom door where she was hiding and strangled her. And then, because it was his religion, he thought he was in the right.
But I'm sorry, if you've been raped or something like that, you've not done anything wrong.
What I can't get my head around is that because of their religion, they feel so strongly that they would take the life of their child, but in their religion, taking someone's life is wrong. So that's where I just can't get my head around it, because it's contradictory.
No, because then it
You know, like in some religions, thou shalt not kill.
yeah,
Most
but if you're
certainly
doing it
shouldn't
to
be.
equal the balance of honour, that which is why it's called honour killings. It's to equal the balance of
Yeah.
it, to try and take the shame away. I mean, I don't believe it. I don't believe in this before the chat starts saying I do, like they did with other ones. But I do not believe in this, and I think it's wrong. So don't start saying I like it.
I mean, I believe in a lot of things, very passionately and strongly, but there's nothing I believe in that would make me kick down a bathroom door and throttle my child to death. There just isn't.
Yeah, I agree. There's nothing.
Because
Or
if they
any
felt
family
so,
member.
if they felt so strongly about it, i.e., the shame and the embarrassment and all of the things that come with this reason to do something, surely they should take their own life and spare their child.
Yeah, I mean, some
I'd
religions
rather do that.
that. That's called.
We've got some more comments.
What's that called? I can't remember. It's called.
We've got some more comments. So Dan Moore has said, because of persecution, for the record, it's all bad. And Ellen Smith has said, I agree, should be their choice, more of less groomed into it. Adam Cooper has said, blood transfer is absolutely fine. It's a chemical like everything else. Learn how the body works via chemistry and biology, as long as it's done properly, matched, etc. And he's also said, what are your thoughts on, they are all products of belief systems, mostly religions. They are all violations of basic human rights. It comes down to a problem with a phrase we all throw around too easily: respect people's beliefs and opinions, but that's a whole another rabbit hole. And Ellen Smith has said, so you wouldn't save your child from what you're saying? It definitely happens here. Dan has said, Ellen has said, I'm saving my child. Adam Cooper has come back and said, honour killing is when you go against what someone thinks is true. You dishonour them by doing so. You can be killed to be saved, to put it blunt. It's lame justification for murder, basically.
Thank you guys for those comments. I mean, it's all part of
Christine
it.
has said she saw an interview with a young lady who witnessed her parents kill her sister as an honour killing, and it was so awful. Christine's also said, I completely agree with Liz. Adam Cooper's, Michael, that's you, sorry. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been replying
Thanks
as
for the
well.
comments, everybody. Yeah, thanks for the comments, everybody.
100%.
Wow. Yeah, so.
Okay. Guys, I just want to say, I'm going to have to call it. It's now 1:30. It was 1 hour episode. What a great conversation. You know, we go into the depths of what's real out here, and that's part of it. And I'm glad that we had this conversation. Anybody watching and you've got something to say that you may not have just like put in the comments, or you're rewatching this at a later date, message us or still comment, because we will still see that on our notifications. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we have literally now like a library of episodes of things that we've covered, and they may interest you. And if ever you feel like you want to join us for a show, we're happy to have a guest on the show, especially if they want to talk about something that they're extremely passionate about, or they would like to explore or want us to explore. 100%. All right, guys, I really appreciate your time tonight, joining me again on this Elite Thinking Club chat. Really good one.
Great to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, quite emotional.
Yeah. All right. Well, for myself and all the other co-hosts, I think we'll wrap it up. So again, thanks for the comments, guys, and thanks for tuning in. And as always, everyone everywhere, peace and love.
Bye.
I've got to learn how to do this.